Welcome to Set Me Up Episode 5, the show where I put your badass workstations on display for the rest of the world to drool at. Or at least 5,000 people in the world or so. If you want to submit your setup, check out the link in the description below and follow the format accordingly. Our first submission is Ahmed with his i7-7700K processor overclocked to 5 GHz, kept in check by the NZXT Kraken X62 all-in-one water cooler, and the Corsair SP120 fans, sharing the MSI Z270 Gaming Pro Carbide motherboard with 8 GB of Kingston HyperX RAM, the Asus GTX 1070 Strix graphics card, a 256GB M.2 PCIe SSD, a 480GB OCZ SSD, and a 1TB hard drive, all being fed and stitched together by the EVGA G2 750W power supply with custom sleeve cables in the Corsair Carbide 400C mid-tower, with some pretty sleek panel design mods. Near his computer, you'll find his 32-inch Samsung TV, Razer Kraken 7.1 Chroma headset, the Trust GXT25 mouse, and Speedlink Parthica core gaming keyboard, as well as a couple of guitars up on the wall, an Xbox controller, and this beautiful bottle. Cable management is kept nicely under control with the IKEA Signum rack under the desk, and behind the motherboard tray is looking pretty good too. His setup is used for gaming, content creation, photography, and photo editing. And just for kicks, he's included an image of his old laptop setup so you can take a gander at the before and after. It's a nice clean setup, and the mod work is on point. Thanks for entering. And next, we throw pics from Sixx into the mix. His custom water-cooled PC, housed in the Phanteks Enthoo Evolv tempered glass case with a mod to allow for fans above the top-mounted rad. We have the i7-6700K processor clocked at 4.8 GHz, 2 EVGA Superclocked GTX 980 Ti's, and 32GB of Corsair Vengeance RAM on the MSI Z170 Gaming Pro Carbide motherboard, powered by the EVGA G2 1300W power supply. The case stays lit with the Phobya 60cm UV LED strip, and other internal components include custom sleeve cables, the Corsair ML120 fans, the Asus Xonar Phoebus soundcard, and most notably his custom loop featuring parts from EK water blocks. His peripherals include a 34-inch ultrawide panel from Asus, the Sennheiser HD598 headphones, Samsung wireless charging pad, and rocking that Corsair flair, we have the Strafe RGB keyboard, Scimitar Pro mouse, and gaming MM300 mousepad. His display wall looks super neat and wears a pretty cool texture. The overall setup is impressive and clean, but I wish I could turn a blind eye to those blinds. But that's okay, everything else makes up for it. I also really like your desktop background. Thanks for the submission. And now we have Bmwsu, and doggone it, I wish I knew that earlier, because I'm pretty sure I spelled out his name entirely in one of my dimterrogation videos. Sorry. Anyway, his computer, aggressively codenamed Infernus, rests in the Antec DF85 case. It consists of the i5-3570K, kept cooled by the ever-popular Cooler Master Hyper 212 cooler, sharing the Asus P8Z77 motherboard with 16GB of Kingston HyperX RAM, the EVGA 670 Superclocked Plus graphics card, and a lot of storage, including a 240GB SanDisk Extreme SSD, a 1TB Seagate Barracuda drive, a 2TB Western Digital Red drive, a 240GB Intel 730 SSD, and a 500GB Seagate drive. His peripherals include two 23-inch Acer monitors and a Dell panel featuring a face only a mother could love. Not my mother, though. The creative Movo mini speaker, a 7-port USB hub from Anker, an Xbox controller, a Steam controller, the Corsair Strafe RGB keyboard with MX Blue switches. You lucky duck, I can't seem to find those anywhere. The Logitech G403 mouse with the Logitech G400 sitting quietly in the background, all atop his custom desk measuring 10 feet long and 3 feet deep. That is about 3 meters by 1 meter. You'll also find the KB Paradise V60 keyboard with MX Clear switches, Rosewell RK9100 with MX Blue switches, and the CM Storm Quickfire Rapid with MX Greens, all with custom keycaps. Something tells me that you probably really like keyboards. You'll also find his PS3 and an awesome lamp, Cheez-Its, and dried mangoes. You've got great taste. He uses his setup primarily for watching YouTube and for programming and gaming on the side. Some extra notes, he wants to throw a little RGB into the desk at some point in time, upgrade his monitors for more screen real estate, and wall-mounted TV as an overhead display for more real estate. And lastly, he's provided pictures of an all-black build he did for a friend. Cable management looks good, and the all-black theme stays strong. My only recommendation is to swap out your background for something that won't terrify children. Great setup and great builds. Thank you for entering. Steven is up next, and he's got the Deep Cool Tesseract case housing the AMD Athlon X4 860K processor clocked to 4.4 GHz and the EVGA GTX 950 Superclocked graphics card. Sitting on or around his custom desk, you'll find his 24-inch Asus 1080p monitor, a 19-inch 900p Dell monitor, the Z77 Falcon RGB keyboard with cherry blue switches, eBlue Mazer wireless mouse, a Zalatis mouse? I don't know if that's actually how it's pronounced or not. I'm gonna say Zalatis because it sounds like Pilates. I don't actually know what Pilates are. The Lenovo Y mouse mat, Art Plus Sound Water speakers and subwoofer, HyperX Cloud 1 or 2 headset, his Samsung Galaxy S7 phone, which I assume is what he's using to take the pictures, the iPhone 6, Nintendo 3DS, his PlayStation 4 and Xbox One off to the sides, an HP Envy 17-inch touchscreen laptop, and a Fender Mustang II guitar amp with 3 guitars, a Fender Stratocaster, a Les Paul, and a Yamaha APX 502 acoustic guitar. A setup like this hits all the right notes. Thanks for entering and giving me the opportunity to use that bad joke. Our last brave adventurer for the day is Sean. Inside the Phanteks Enthoo Primo case, you'll see his i7-7700K processor overclocked to 4.8 GHz at 1.3 volts, cooled by the Thermaltake Water 3.0 all-in-one water cooler and Ring RGB fans, 2 GB GTX 1080 Extreme graphics cards, one presumably 8 GB stick of G-Skill Trident Z RAM running at 3000 MHz, a 250 GB Samsung 850 EVO SSD, and 3 3TB hard drives, all sharing the Gigabyte G1 gaming motherboard, powered by a 1000 watt EVGA power supply. His PC pushes pixels to his 55-inch 4K OLED LG TV. I'm jealous. His setup is actually under a bunk bed with the bottom bunk removed, making it more like a loft, surrounded by an LED strip. Peripherals include the Corsair K70 RGB keyboard with cherry brown switches, the Corsair M65 RGB mouse sitting on a Gigabyte mousepad, the Blue Yeti microphone and a very dead cat, the Logitech Z906 speakers, and a Polk audio floor speaker. You'll also see his watch nearby, as well as his multicolor Xbox One controller and Samsung Galaxy S7 Edge. He says he does custom builds for people and gave me permission to share his email, so you'll find that either on screen somewhere or down in the description below. He did ask for some tips, and I don't think I have too much to contribute. A phone stand or two could probably do you some justice. And since you're under a bunk bed, there may be a way for you to mount your microphone boom arm to any of the supports instead of the desk. An LED strip under your desk and behind your super huge TV could probably look pretty cool too. You may also be able to put a diffusing panel in between the bunk bed supports and the LED strip, which might give a cool lighting glow. And lastly, I would find a way to get the computer off of the floor. It may mess with the symmetry, but you can try scooting your TV over to the left a little bit, then putting your PC up on the desk. Just a suggestion. Otherwise, it all looks good, and keeping your setup under your bed seems like an awesome space saver. You get a lot of good things going on. Thanks for entering. So, those are all the entries I have for this video. Like, dislike, comment, subscribe, share if you want to help support projects like these. My Patreon link is in the description, but do keep in mind that it's currently set to charge at the beginning of each month because I have no idea what I'm doing. So if you only want to do a one-time thing, don't forget to cancel it eventually. Thanks for watching, my name is Steven and I am a little dim. Bye bye. I don't know what that was. I'm gonna keep it though. Overclocked to 5 GHz, kept it... That was quick. Somebody messaged me on Facebook and now there's like a bubble in the middle of my script. Go away. With custom sleeve cables in the Corsair Carbide. I think I forgot how to breathe for a second. Apparently I need that to live near his computer. I love that game, but boy was that a bad pun. And the Asus Xonar Phoebus sound card. Phoebus? Phoebus, like the Pokemon. I had so much trouble catching one of those back in the Emerald days. Oh man, I'm on like a nostalgia trip now. I want to go play. I wonder if that would actually be interesting to watch. I don't know. Maybe. The Asus Xonar Phoebus, featuring a face only a mother could love. Not my mother though. I don't know if it's sad that I said that or if it's sad that I'm laughing at that. Or if it's sad that it's true. He wants to throw a little RGB onto the desk at some point in time, upgrade his his monitors. Thanks for entering and giving me the opportunity. Yeah. It may mess with the symmetry, but you can try scooting your... I said table in the script, I meant TV. You could try scooting the TV over, not the table over. Scooting the table over doesn't do you any good.